I'm Stephen Hill, Justmypicks.com, and I'm going to be bringing you the NFC South breakdown for the 2012-2013 NFL season. A lot of things have been going on in the NFC South so far. You have a lot going on with the New Orleans Saints with the bounty scandal that's been going on, the loss of Jonathan Vilma and a couple of other key players for the season. It's been crazy, kind of hectic. It's been going back and forth in court, but I'm going to be bringing you the top four, 1 through 4, and who will be making the playoffs with my predictions in this YouTube video. First, I want to start in New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints, they're a couple of years removed from the Super Bowl. Drew Brees is still there. You have the Shetland Pony in Darren Sproles. You have a lot of things, Marcus Colston. You have a good ground game with Mark Ingram. You have a lot of things, but I just think that this bounty scandal is going to overshadow what could be a good year for them. Also, Drew Brees, he's not going to have the weapons he used to have. He's also missing a couple of offensive linemen that left in free agency. Also, that's left a hole, and he'll have to make up for the production he's going to be losing in those players as far as the offensive line and the wide receiver core. And I think he's going to throw a lot more interceptions than he usually does. I think he's going to overextend. That's why I'm putting the New Orleans Saints in the 4th spot here. I know they have Graham, the tight end. But it's just too many holes for me. It's too many distractions for me. I love Drew Brees. I love him as a quarterback. I think he's a great person, but I'm just not seeing them making the playoffs this year, and I think they take a major step back, and they have to have Sean Payton. For me to see them do something without Sean Payton, that'll make me a believer, but until I see them do it without it, I'm going to doubt them every step of the way. Moving up in the 3rd spot, we go down to Tampa. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the new coach Greg Schiano from Rutgers. It's been a rebuilding process. They had a great draft, and it's a no-nonsense mentality down there. They've cleaning house. They've cleaned up from when Raheem Morris and company was coaching there and playing there. They got rid of a lot of distractions, and Josh Freeman looks great. He lost a lot of weight, slimmed down, and he's really getting into his book more. He's really getting into his playbook and becoming a leader that they drafted him and thought he could be a couple of years ago. Also, you have to look at this defense. This defense that Greg Schiano has, they're going to be stout, fast, and they're going to be able to stop a lot of people. A lot of people last year were able to score at will. I remember one game where the Falcons scored almost 40 points in them, and it wasn't even halftime yet. So I think there's going to be a major culture change down there, a big change, and I think that they're going to finish 3rd but not make the playoffs this year. I think that Greg Schiano is a great addition to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think that he'll do well there. Also, number 2 spot. I went back and forth with this. Basically, I've been going back and forth for a while, but I see the Carolina Panthers in the number 2 spot. I say that because Cam Newton and company, yes, they have a lot of weapons. I just don't feel like they're ready to make that jump yet. I like Steve Smith. I like Cam Newton. I like Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams running the rock, but the tight end play. Can Greg Olsen step up and take his game to another level? Can another wide receiver come in and really show that he could be a number 2 wide receiver? Because pretty much it's run, and Cam Newton has a hell of an arm. Let's face it, he's a star in the making. He's already a star. So it's one of those things where the offense has to gel and this defense has to gel. I know they drafted a linebacker in the draft, but their needs, I would much rather see them go after a big-time wide receiver in the draft to give Steve Smith some help on the other side of the field. But the sky's the limit for these guys, and I think it's going to be a great season for them. And I think they have a chance to make the playoffs. They're one of my surprise teams, one of the dark horses to take their wild card spot. And in the 1st seed, I have the Atlanta Falcons. Let's face it, flat out, the Atlanta Falcons are loaded and stacked. Let's face it, last year, Matt Ryan and company, they weren't gelling. They didn't play well. Michael Turner did not touch the ball enough last season, and I state that again and again and again. It's with any running back that's dominant. When you take away his carries, he won't have the productivity that he usually has. He can wear and tear down a defense. Julio Jones, he didn't really know the playbook last year, but he's coming out, and that game versus the Ravens showed me a lot. He's a hard worker. He's big, fast, strong, has the big hands. If the ball touches his hands, basically you could count 6 points on the board. Roddy White is a big production guy for them also. But I want to see Tony Gonzalez and these boys get it together and actually win a playoff game. I'm picking them to not only get into the playoffs, but to actually win a playoff game this season. And I'm picking them to win the NFC South. This has been a Just My Picks video, and we've been breaking down the NFC South. And pretty much you can check us out on YouTube.com/JustMyPicks. Hit that subscribe button for me. You can check me out on Twitter. You can also follow me at Just My Picks on Twitter. You can also check us out on Facebook. Thank you very much for viewing. This has been your host Stephen Hill for JustMyPicks.com. Thank you very much.